Welcome back, guys, to another video here on Grow the Earth. I'm Tommy, and today we're going to be talking about cucumbers. Now, cucumbers are a wonderful, vigorous plant that, as you can see, is a vining plant, and it loves to climb on things. Now, it will run across the ground, but what tends to happen is you end up having damping off issues and fungus issues whenever it crawls across the ground. And here we have all of our cucumbers, and they're climbing up a piece of the concrete matting material. Now, this looks familiar because it was in the trellis video that a lot of you guys watched. This is the same material, and instead of bending it into a hoop, we have some T-posts that we've got holding it up straight so that our cucumbers and various other plants that we plant here throughout the year can climb up it and vine. Now, I'm going to pull you guys in a little bit closer because I want to point out one particular thing about this cucumbers that they share with other plants. Alright guys, so I got you in nice and close, and one of the things that this shares with squash and watermelon and cantaloupe and other varieties is these have both a male and a female plant. So these definitely need bees or wasp or some sort of pollination, because just like the squash in the previous video, they have to take the pollen out of the male and we have to deposit it on the female in order to get our fruit. And I've seen a lot of questions as to how you can tell if it's a female or a male. Well, again, just like in the other video, if you see a male will just be a flower. It'll just be a single flower with nothing more. But if you look down here, you have the cucumber here, and that was a female flower. And usually whenever your plants are starting out, you're going to get a lot of males. And what that's for is to coax the bees in to get used to coming to that area to pollinate. And then later on, the plant will send up females in order for the bees to be able to pollinate those. Now, the other reason why that they send out males first is because they take less energy to send out, and they serve the purpose. So guys, once that pollination happens, you get this. And this cucumber here is, it's almost ready. It's just about ready. This is actually a different variety. This is called a muncher. And these only get about 6 inches long and maybe 3/4 of an inch in diameter, because they're meant to be picked a little younger, and they have a completely and entirely different taste than a regular cucumber. Here, along on our cucumbers, we have, on our first panel here, we have munchers, and then on our second one here, we have market moors, and then the third one here we have Ashleys, and then we have some yard-long cucumbers. Now those are more of the yard-long cucumbers are more of they almost have a cantaloupe taste to them. And if you haven't tried one, you need to. They're actually quite delicious. And they're very prolific. We had a plant last year that just put on cucumber after cucumber after cucumber, and every one of them was in excess of 1.5 foot to 2 foot long. So guys, along with the male and the female flowers, another thing that these plants share with watermelon and cantaloupe and things like that is they have a single point that they pull nutrients from. Since these vines vine up, they don't have an opportunity to gain nutrients from anywhere else. So whenever you plant, you definitely want to make sure that you are fertilizing that area, and also that your soil is of very good quality. This year I put down fertilizer and a good layer of compost, and as you can see, they're doing quite well. So like I said, you've only got one area that they can pull nutrients from, and it actually wouldn't hurt for after they get to about this stage, is to go back and either do a nutrient drench near your where your plants are coming out of the ground, near their tap point, or to even side dress with a little bit of extra fertilizer. And of course, I recommend the MicroLife Ultimate, just simply because you can put it in your ground as a fertilizer. You can actually make a compost tea with it. You can top dress, you can side dress. It's a very universal fertilizer, and it has grown things that, well, it's grown these too. So this is any indication of how good it is. Well, you have the proof right here in front of you. Now, before we go any further, I want to address one thing. We are over 200 subscribers on this channel, and I just want to thank every one of you who have subscribed and who are watching now, because without you, the information that I'm giving here wouldn't be able to get out and wouldn't be able to spread to others. The other thing I want to address is, looking at our analytics, only about 10% of you guys who are viewing my videos are actually subscribers. So that means that a lot of you guys that are watching this video right now are people that have never seen my channel before, or you're a habitual watcher but you just don't subscribe. So if you like what you've seen so far, I want you to subscribe. I want you to help us to reach that coveted 1,000 subscribers. And also, you know, we want to share the tips and the tricks and the information that I've gathered over all these years of gardening. And I know that there are a lot of new gardeners that are just coming into it, and some of them have a little more of a handle on things than others. And that's why I break down a lot of the information very simple, that way that someone who doesn't know certain things about gardening can understand and can utilize the information that I've given them. So guys, like I said, you know, if you haven't subscribed, you know, click that little subscribe button. It's right over there in the corner. If you click on that, it'll subscribe you. And then later on, you can click the bell notification. That way when I upload, you'll be able to see it. With these cucumbers, you will have to train these to climb up this trellis. They will tend to do it naturally, but you'll find, especially towards the bottom, well, for example, we've got one right here. Now it's coming out of a crook of a cucumber plant here, and it would continue to grow out and down and away. But if we simply take it and push it up through this paneling and kind of give it a wraparound, well, now that will continue to grow up, and it will continue to give us airflow, and we'll have more cucumbers that way. Another thing that we need to address, especially with cucumbers, is they are very prone to mildew and disease. And one of the ways that you can avoid both of these problems is, number one, is if you do not water the leaves. We always want to water anything that is above a seedling stage at the base of the plant. The only time that you water or dampen the leaves is if you're foliar feeding, and that's only really good for certain plants. So the drier that we keep these leaves, the more we can keep mildew away. So the second thing we need to address with keeping mildew and fungus away is airflow. Now, I know that you're looking at all this behind me and you're saying, well, Tommy, that doesn't look like there's a lot of airflow there. But once you get down in here and look around, there is a lot of open spaces that air can move through. And the reason we need airflow is because if there is any kind of moisture in here, airflow is going to dry it out. Also, with allowing it to be open and have more airflow in it, pests can't hide. Pests are very opportunistic, and if they find something that's very dense to where they can hide in it, then they're going to, because they feel safe, because they're hiding. But when you have something like this to where there's airflow through here and there's ways to get into it, the bugs are not going to hang here. They're going to hang somewhere else where they can hide. Because in here, bugs can come in and swoop in and pick them up. So they're going to stay away from this open area, and they're going to hide in something else that has a lot more cover and a lot more hiding ability in it. So guys, that's the end of another video here. And I just want to encourage you to garden with whatever space you have. We have a fairly, I would say fairly large urban garden here. It's not about the size of your garden, it's the way you utilize it. And getting innovative with trellises and with vertical climbing things and stuff like that, you can use your space that you have a lot more effectively. Two, I want to encourage you guys to invite God into your garden. You know, if you have God in your life, God doesn't stop when you get through praying or whenever you're visiting with one of your friends. God is in everything that you do. And what more than to have God in a garden surrounded by things that He has grown, surrounded by evidence of His willingness to want to help you and to see you prosper. You know, we get a lot of people that stop and ask about our garden here because we're so visible, being on a road, as you can see all the cars going behind me. And, you know, they always ask me, you know, what am I doing to make our garden grow like this? And, you know, yes, it has to do with soil. Yes, it has to do with fertilizer. But at the end, it always has to do with God. Because you can do everything that you think is perfect, but unless God makes that seed grow, it makes it be prosperous, you don't have anything. So, again, I just want to encourage you guys to invite God into your garden. Pray over your garden. Ask Him for His prominence over your garden to bring the great helper into your garden and to guide you in the ways to take care of His plants that He's given you. And give thanks every day for all of it. And so, as always, guys, I ask you to pray over your garden, pray over your family, and have a great day.